To some stories for you, get our opinion, and we want yours as well. Halle Berry is actually apologizing for considering playing a transgender man in an upcoming film. So let me tell you the whole story. The actress discussed the possibility of taking the role during an Instagram Live with hairstylist Kristen Brown, but the comment was hit with instant criticism. The makers of Disclosure documentary, a film which looks at how Hollywood depicts trans people, called her out, saying non-trans actors playing trans roles have major cultural consequences off screen. Halle then went and posted this morning. It's her apology, saying she should never have even considered taking the role and that the transgender community should have the chance to, of course, tell their own stories. Now, but some fans now came to her defense, saying she should not have apologized. It's like a layered cake.
Yes. Adding that, quote, acting is experiencing. That's the icing on the top. I gotta be super honest with you. I kind of don't know where I stand, because I assume all transgender people should be up for those roles because they're a marginalized group of people. But then you're also like, well, what about like Daniel Day-Lewis in My Left Foot, or like great performances? Or am I outdated? Am I not woke on this? Steph, what do you think?
Oh, you know what? It's a bit of a tough question, because let's be honest, being an actor is putting yourself in a completely different person's shoes or life, or being a character that normally you would never be, right? But, so obviously you're portraying a different life that is not yours. But I think in today's day and age, I think playing characters of another race, that maybe your sexuality, maybe like in this situation where it was transgender, I think that community is so underrepresented, and there are so many amazing actors and actresses that would never have the chance. You know, if someone like Halle Berry, who's already famous, who also has no affiliation to that, just get given the role.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, moving forward, I think everyone in the media industry needs to be a lot more, what's the right word I'm looking for? Considerate.
Yeah.
And I think Halle did the right thing by saying, you know what, this isn't for me.
It's like, you know what's right? It's like, I hate when ScarJo would play Asian characters. I hate when like a non-black person would try and play a black person, or John Wayne playing an Asian person. So is this the same thing?
Well, you know, it's tough because in Hollywood, the way that movies get made is that they're investors. Right. And you go around and you have to get money together to get this movie together. So how do you get people on the phone excited about handing you $5 or $10 million of their own money? You say, hey, we have Mark Wahlberg attached to this project. We have Jamie Foxx attached to this project. It's gonna go. So a lot of times with these projects, and I'm not even playing devil's advocate, I'm just saying what happens. Yeah. You need a name attached to a project. Trust me, I pitch many shows and they go, who do you have attached to those? I'm like, me? And they're like, well, validate your parking. Get out. So you have to have a big name. Yeah. And so it goes both ways. So you know, you needed a big name to get it made, but sometimes you find a star
like
by not having
is needed, right? Like so now he's that name, but we don't have him without letting someone who isn't a star in.
Exactly.
So it's like a weird catch-22. Yeah. Let us know what you guys think. I think they are underrepresented, as Steph said, and should have the opportunity, but we want to know what you think. Speaking of good actors, Tom Hanks, everyone's dad, gave his first live interview since recovering from the coronavirus. Tom spoke to Hoda Kotb on the Today Show about how people need to take the virus more seriously. It's a serious Hanks. Take a look.
Well, you know, traffic accidents kill an awful lot of people too. That's traffic accident happens because a lot of drivers aren't doing their part. You know, they're not using their turn signals. They're driving too fast. They're not paying attention to their environment. I don't know how common sense has somehow been put in question in regards to this.
America's dad is disappointed in us. Tom and his wife, Rita Wilson, were diagnosed in March while in Australia. Tom said the pandemic is similar to what people experienced during World War II, in that everyone has to do their part, including wearing masks. There's that famous meme that says, our grandparents were called to the front line, we're being called to the couch and to wear a mask. I think we can do that. Steph, you're nodding. Do you agree with the disappointed Tom Hanks?
Absolutely. Of course. I mean, when you compare it literally to what he said, like our grandparents were literally on the front line. They were risking their lives for the greater good of people, like their own family and people that they never knew, for their country, right? And what we're being asked to do is just be a bit more considerate, practice social distancing, and wear a mask when you're outside of your household. Is it inconvenient and a bit annoying? Yes. No one wants to feel that on their face. But you're saving lives, and I think sometimes we're getting a bit too, because shops are starting to open and restaurants and things like that, I think people are starting to think, well, it's done now, we're going back to normal, but we're not quite there yet. We're still in the middle of the first wave.
Up, baby.
We're still knee deep in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're knee deep. You know, we're still waiting. We're not not ready to be just wandering around like life is normal yet. So,
Yeah.
and remember, Tom's had the coronavirus. He's talking from first-hand experience.
And Steph, we have to remember that there's a lot of money to be made in doubt. You look at YouTube shows that are super powerful. Look at Alex Jones. He has a ton of followers. He's a conspiracy theory guy. Most podcasts and a lot of television shows peddle conspiracy theories because they cause people that don't trust the government, that don't trust what's going on around them, to focus in and listen in, and that creates dollars for them. So when you say the mask is being used to control you, when you say this, they're not giving you this drug because it'll cure you and they want you sick, when they say the vaccine comes out, don't take it because they're going to implant you with a microchip, all these things, these people do not believe. These people all live in lavish homes. They live in the mountains, away from everything. They get tested all the time. But their listeners and their loyal viewers believe this, and they go out, and we see the ramifications of that with all these Target videos and people fighting. We've seen restaurants close because their employees are so berated by people coming in yelling at them about wearing masks. It's just, it's because there's a profit motive behind this.
I just worry that if that's true, which I believe it is, this country will never go down. We will, if people don't believe the mask works, which can take your risk down to 5% better, right? Then we'll never see a dip. Go ahead, Steph.
Even if these conspiracy theorists are magically correct, which I don't believe they are, but let's say in an alternate universe, or they come out with some facts that the mask never worked. What, so for literally a few months of your life, you can't inconvenience yourself for just a little bit when you're out of your home, just in case?
I guess not, though.
And I think those people would feel very different, but I think they'll feel very differently if they find someone in their family or one of their friends that gets sick and is in the hospital and is fighting for their life, and then I'd like to see what they do then.
Yeah, that's interesting. Also, earlier this morning, we did hear that President of Brazil, Bolsonaro, has tested positive for coronavirus. So once it hits home, it does change, as Stephanie says. Moving on to this Meghan Markle story, she's reportedly dropped her BFF, Jessica Mulroney. I can't believe I read it like that. Dropped her BFF over a social media scandal. So Jessica was recently accused of using her white privilege to threaten the livelihood of Canadian influencer Exeter, who is black. Sasha had encouraged fellow influencers to use their platforms to support Black Lives Matter, but Jessica took issue with that and started a feud with Sasha. That feud seems to have cost Jessica her friendship with the Duchess, who was reportedly distancing herself from her. Jessica has since apologized for her comments, but she lost a number of high-profile gigs, including her role on Good Morning America. Do you drop friends for what they do on social media?
Yes. Absolutely. That's what that unfriend and unfollow button is there for. If somebody doesn't agree with you on, ideologically on things that are fundamental to your belief system, I don't think that there's a real friendship that can be sown there. And because of that, I think for the benefit of both of you guys, you should probably part ways.
I can't convince someone to care about people the way I care about people if we just don't fundamentally agree on their right to exist. Do you know what I'm saying?
Maybe you guys have done both of each other a favor.
Yeah, and it's goodbye. Yeah. Do you agree with that,
good
Steph?
luck.
It's goodbye, good luck if you've messed up on social media?
Of course. Well, I think there will have been signs of that, I assume, in everyday life. If they've been friends for a long time, I'm sure there's been times that Meghan's seen things that maybe she doesn't like, or everyone has different opinions and have the right to voice their opinion. But I think when it comes to this issue, obviously it's cost her career. And are we just forgetting the fact that Meghan Markle's mother is black? So how offensive to Meghan also? Like, what?
Yeah, I gotta just also, and I don't mean to be piling on, but what a total idiot to have done that. First of all, it's bigotry and it's racist, but also your best friend is an icon and someone that empowers women of that race. How dare you?
I think it shows the disconnect between us and them.
Maybe. Wow. That got real deep, you guys. Good job. Stephanie, please don't go away. Coming up on DBL, a woman is taking the Karen craze to a whole new level on TikTok. We'll show you more of her hilarious video. And as we go to break, a reminder, DBL is still doing our part to fight COVID-19. Everyone here has been working from home for months now. We'll be right back. We miss you guys.
Closed caption.
TikTok to recreate entitled women, often called Karens, on social media. Let's take a look. It's funny that like this has become "Hello, I'm being threatened" is now like a dance move. By the way, that was a woman who calls herself Tennessee Tanya. So is this an accurate depiction of Karens? I do want to preface this that we have someone working who probably wrote this script named Karen, who's a lovely woman.
Karen's the best.
Right? So I wanted to find out what you guys thought about that.
I don't know where we're supposed to go from that. I do worry about this, and I will say this. I've always said we have to follow that. We have to watch that line where we kind of laugh at and lampoon these things and give them nicknames, Permit Patty, you know, all these nicknames, but not forget what they're trying to do. They're trying to weaponize the police in order to cause somebody harm.
Right.
So like I do like the funny dance things, but like just remember what they're doing is really evil.
You're kind of saying like Karen's funny, but it's also real dangerous.
Right, you can lose the message when you're just trying to think of a funny nickname. Oh, Coupon Carl and blah, 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 all these names.
That's true. There's a tweet out there, Steph, that said when Amy Cooper, remember she was in the park being like, a black man is hurting me.
She said trying to kill me.
Trying to kill me. She wanted what happened or thought might happen with George Floyd. I mean, that's really the combination there. Interesting combo. Well, Steph, get this. Speaking of TikTok, it's a very popular social media platform used by more than 26 million people, including, I believe, you. Steph, do you have it? Do you have TikTok?
Yeah, I've got it. I'm not as big on it as Al is bigger on it than I am.
Yeah.
Al introduced me. Al introduced me. He's like, get on TikTok, Stephanie.
Can I just say, Stephanie and I have a video on TikTok that's got 280,000 views.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Okay, first of all, that's fantastic, but I just have to say the U.S. is considering a ban on the company over fears of spying by the Chinese. So that's according to the Secretary of State. Now, if you don't know, TikTok is famous for its viral videos, including popular cooking demonstrations, makeup tutorials, and of course, tons of dance videos, and of course, Al and Steph's video everyone should look for.
That's right.
So should we ban TikTok? And from what I've heard from sources elsewhere is that it's not just we're being spied on, but children are being spied on in a lot of ways. Could this be a really dangerous app? Or do you have a theory, Al, about this?
Steph, I have a theory, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. My theory is this. I feel like because of the embarrassment that happened in Tulsa, where the K-pop fans, along with TikTok fans, went on and bought up a bunch of tickets to that rally, making it look empty and kind of embarrassing the president. I find it very strange that 2 weeks later, all of a sudden, the words TikTok are coming from the White House's Twitter account. So I think it's very, it's weird. It's a weird
timing. What do you think? I mean, that's an interesting thought. What do you think about that, Steph?
I agree with what Al's just said, actually. I think that's very, very interesting. I think TikTok will have to prove that their information is secure, and then hopefully it won't be cancelled. But we've seen this as well with like Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook. People were saying he was selling data. And obviously Facebook is still alive and kicking. It's not going anywhere. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I'd like to hope that they can prove their security, and then we can move on past it. Because otherwise, what are me and Al going to do to pass the time?
Exactly.
Very true. I do think it's different when it's Facebook and it's an American company versus a Chinese company. I think there's something there, Well, coming up on DBL.
But they are saying there's an American CEO. Sorry.
Oh, no, that's good information. She owned it. I love it. Jeff catches up with actress Marta Milans. Is a second season of White Lines in the works on Netflix. She'll tell us what she knows. Coming up next.
America is coming back.
Welcome back to DBL. Marta Milans has acted in many roles, but most recently she's celebrating her newest role in real life as an American citizen. Earlier, Jeff caught up with the White Lines actress in today's Chatting with the Stars.
Marta Milans, welcome to DBL. Very excited to have you here. Now, Marta, you recently became an American citizen. First of all, I want to say congratulations, but given the current racial climate here, how do you feel about that?
I love this country very much. I've been living here for over 17 years, and one of the reasons I became an American citizen is because the concept of the ideal of the American dream, I always believed in it. I really worked very hard for a long time, and I was granted opportunities and doors were opened to me, and eventually I was able to become a citizen. So that is, to me, what the American dream is. To be living in a country right now where this same ideal that was granted to me isn't available to everybody else just because of the color of their skin or the socioeconomic background or whatever it is. It's something that I think we have to work towards. I believe that the ideal exists here and it doesn't exist in many other countries, so I'm an eternal optimist and a believer in the true ideals of this country, and I think we will get there, and we just have to stand all together in this quest and stand with this cause all as one. So I truly believe in that.
What a terrific answer. I couldn't agree more with you on that one.
I came to find out who killed my father. He disappeared off the face of the earth 20 years ago.
There will be no investigation.
We just got finished, me and my wife, watching White Lines. So how is the role of Kika in White Lines specifically designed for you?
Well, I was lucky enough to work with Alex Pina, the creator of White Lines, on another show that he did right after Money Heist called The Pier. And I think because of that creative relationship with Alex, when White Lines came to be and he called me to offer me the role of Kika and told me a little bit about her life, I was like, Alex, did you just Google my life, man? Because pretty much me.
Yeah, I loved it. Like I said, my wife loved it, and this is a little personal question for me. Are there anything in the works for season 2 for White Lines?
We don't know. We don't know anything yet. We're still in the dark. We're very hopeful. I mean, we were #1 in over 30 countries. So we are hopeful, but we're cautiously optimistic.
I'll keep my fingers crossed for you.
Thank you.
So tell me about the Shazam sequel now. Does Mama Rosa have powers this time around? Could you share that with us?
Mama Rosa is definitely coming around for Shazam 2, and I did talk to our producers and writers, and I said, listen, guys, I know that being the mother of 7 or 6.5 superheroes is a superpower in itself, but Milans wants a cape. Milans wants to fly, and I want my own freaking boots. So can we just do that, even if it's one dream sequence?
Let's say they give you the boots, they give you the cape. What superpower would you want to have other than just flying?
It would be the power to heal, you know, to heal your loved ones, to heal people that are sick, to heal people that you don't know. If there's one superpower, I think that beats flying and all of the other superpowers.
Great answers all across the board. Marta Milans, thank you so much for joining us. And it's always nice when you watch a show and then you get to talk to one of the actors or actress and they turn out just to be as great as you are. So thank you for being great. And congratulations on the citizenship and climbing the ladder in Hollywood. I mean, I just see you going up and up in this business.
From your mouth to God's ears. Thank you, Jeff.
All right. Thank you so much. We'll be right back, everybody.
Promotional consideration.
Heat wave, woo! It's making its way through the nation this week, and it will likely impact your sleep. We're chatting about it in today's Rise and Thrive, sponsored by SoClean. So the National Weather Service says we are in for a hot, dry spell that could last up to 2 weeks. They expect roughly 84% of the U.S. population to hit highs above 90 degrees, and we all know how hard it is to sleep in the heat. So here's some tips. Number one, during the day, keep your bedroom windows and curtains closed. It'll stop the heat from coming in. Try sleeping in PJs made of natural fibers like cotton. They have moisture absorbing properties that can keep the sweat off your body. And lastly, unplug or turn off all unnecessary electrical devices that generate a lot of heat. That means laptops, TVs, and even light bulbs. For more ways to rest easy, go to SoClean.com or call 1-800-227-5681. I said this earlier, but I sleep naked when it's hot out.
There you go, Steph. There's a little takeaway from the show for you and our viewers.
Well, whilst Tori's sleeping naked, I'm thinking about getting a chili pad. Have you heard of them? You put them on over your mattress and it's like this cool water underneath. Oh. So it like keeps the bed cool. So when you're asleep on the bed, it says chili underneath you. You're like, I've not got one, but Erica does. Apparently it's fabulous.
There you go. It's like a penguin on an ice
chili
pad. Of course Erica
chili
has
pad.
it.
All right, DBL's new every day. We'll be back tomorrow. Bye, guys.